everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and welcome to this week's WIP and Chat, which is almost 5 years to the date since the very first video that I ever did on my YouTube channel, which incidentally was a WIP and Chat. So yeah, literally just discovered that a few minutes ago when I had a moment. I was sitting down to record and went, oh my gosh, I meant to check. Did I start my channel in August or September? August 5th, 2020. That was the day I uploaded my first video. And so I'm going to get a little sidetracked even more in a little bit, talking about just some reflections and what I wish I'd known when I started my channel, those kinds of things that I did not take any notes on ahead of time. So we're just really going to fly by the seat here. But anyway, if you're new, welcome. I do these WIP and Chats on Monday mornings. It's Sunday evening. I'm wrapping up my weekend and just getting ready to start another week, which it's the middle of summer, so every day kind of feels like another in our house right now. But I'm looking forward genuinely to spending the next hour or so with you chatting while I work on my WIP, which is a diamond painting. Let me fill you in on what I'm working on and with. And all of these shops are going to be linked below if you want to go do some shopping, add some things to your wish list, that sort of thing. So kit-wise, I am working on the kit Eros and Psyche from Diamond Art Club and the artist Chrisabug. This is the original artwork. You know I can't resist a Greek mythological couple by Chrisabug. Obsessed, absolutely obsessed. So I started this a few days ago and am loving it. Well, actually, a lot of what you see here is from the Pure Bliss Wax Company box that I shared, and these boxes have unfortunately sold out, but these shops still sell a lot of really similar wonderful goods. The exception is the putty, but it was on theme because the August Pure Bliss Wax Company box was all like stars and galaxies themed. And this pen is from Shimmering Canvases and is one of the upgrade pens and is just really pretty. The tray is from Crafty Creations by Ellie or Creations by LEP and has this pretty star lid on it. The wax I'm going to be using in my single placer is from Pure Bliss Wax Company and is one of the monthly scents, which I believe you can get this scent by itself. This is my favorite of the bunch. If you like vanilla, you're going to love this scent. It is so nice and light and it just feels very comforting, honestly. So I'm really enjoying this one. Apologies for yawning. That's a staple in my videos anyway. And then this putty was not in the box. Pure Bliss Wax Company does make a putty, but I wanted to mix it up. I try to represent a variety of small shops when I work on these projects, my WIP and Chats. But this is from Butterfly Effectwares. They're most well known for their pens, but they always do coordinating putties with their pens. And this one was just on theme because it's Starlight. I don't even know what the actual scent on that one is. I just know that's the name of it, and it looks really pretty too. So let me go ahead and get my pen loaded up and ready to go. I've never used this pen before. I have gotten and used pens from Shimmering Canvases in the past and been pretty happy with their pens. It's like a little bit thicker than what I would consider a medium, but some of you might think it is just really a true medium kind of turning. I wish that there was like a universal way to kind of describe how thick pen turnings are. I just sort of, compare them to other pens from other companies that I've worked with. And I just like, oh, it's very medium. I'm going to clean out this old putty. My WIP and Chats are honestly a good excuse to make sure that it's a good excuse to like grab one of my multi-placers that has old putty in it that I need to change out anyway. So yeah, I don't remember what putty this is, but it is not picking up drills very well. So it's the one I grabbed to use for this video. I do clean out all the putty. I know some people just scrape kind of like the top layer off, but especially from changing brands, I don't know. I like a clean start. So that's what I'm going with. But, I didn't even tell you where we're at on the kit. So really quick. So the kit's upside down and we're just opening up this section right here with this little like motif, this little round motif. This is the top of Eros's head right there. The way that I'm tackling this project is a little bit different than my usual. I'm doing the border first. So I've done the bottom row, I've done the left column, and now I'm coming across the top, and then after I finish the top, I'll do the right row, and I'll kind of work my way into the center, and the last section I do, it actually, the way that I washi taped it off, like with my very same size sections, actually ends up having their faces both be in the middle of one section. And so I think that'll be the very last section that I actually do. I think that'll be fun. Actually, I think just a little bit of washi tape. If you go to place, especially a metal multi-placer in the end of your pen and it's loose, I'm a huge fan of using washi tape. I always have it nearby anyway because I use it to section my canvases. So I like the really skinny washi tape, and I just do a little strip of it just like that. And it just gives it a little bit of extra kind of, perfect circumference to it. So then it just fits really snugly in there and isn't going to be spinning around every which way when I try to use my multi-placer. I need minimal fuss, ideally. So however I can make that happen, I'm going to do it. So anyway, oh, look at this, by the way. Look how pretty that is. This one, even though it's called Starlight, it almost reminds me of like blue jeans, actually. It's so fun. Anyway, happy Monday. I hope that you had a great weekend and that your week is off to a really nice start so far. And that you are staying cool if it's summer where you are and you're getting hit by this summer heat, which it really has taken off over here. It's certainly gotten a lot warmer in the past couple of weeks. We had an unseasonably cool July here where the highs stayed in like the low to mid 80s. Usually July we're really creeping into the 90s, but no, now that we're getting into August, our highs are in the 90s most days, which I know lots of you have even hotter weather, but I am not a fan of the heat. I will complain about it every year. You go back and watch any of my WIP and Chats over the past 5 years. If it's in the summer, I guarantee I've fussed about the heat at least a dozen times in those WIP and Chats over the course of that summer. But anyway, I am happy to be working on this kit and be back to a round drill kit and be back to Diamond Art Club's round drills and just a color palette and overall color palette and style of artwork that is it's just so me. I love it so much. I'm so happy. It's bringing me a lot of joy. It's been a pretty positive experience working on this kit. I don't really have any complaints. I don't have any complaints. I know the Diamond Art Club has said that they haven't made any changes to their round drill grid necessarily, but that was a really bad placement. I'm at kind of a little bit of a weird angle right now. I know they said that they didn't make any adjustments to their grid, but I don't know. Maybe it's the drills and everything are just so much easier to multi-place than they were a year ago. I feel like they made some kind of change last fall or last winter maybe. I don't remember. I have no good sense of time, but their rounds are just a multi-place to dream now. I'm a huge fan. So this has been fun to work on, but I have been trying not to go too hard on it, as tempting as it is, because I'm still trying to rest my shoulders somewhat. And so I'm thinking of it as letting me enjoy this kit for even longer. I did finish up on Stars and Whiskers, my Dia Mood kit. I finished that just a day or two after last week's WIP and Chat, and I am genuinely happy with how it turned out, though it was very bittersweet. It was very bittersweet, given that the shop has closed and they're just such sweet shop owners and everything, and had some nice artwork. I thought that they were doing some really fun things, and but at the same time there were things that it's like if they would have stayed open, I would have given them some feedback on, like, a couple of these colors are just kind of overly trash prone, I think. But for like a company that was still really pretty new in the grand scheme of things, I was really impressed. I was like, this is a solid start for what's essentially like a new company that hasn't had the chance for a lot of people to work on their kits and give feedback. So glad I have a couple other kits from them in my collection that I'll work on, someday. And I hope that those artists are able to go on and sign with other companies, I hope, if that's something that they want to do. But speaking of artists and artwork, I loved getting to do that unboxing from Diamond Delights earlier in the week. That was a delightful surprise. If you want to hear me really just a little bit losing my mind on camera, and leaving it in, you should go watch that video, because I let it be a surprise. I didn't know. I knew that one of them was going to be the mini set. She had mentioned that as much, but she hadn't specified what the other kit was going to be. And it ended up being the kit that I was secretly hoping that she'd been teasing it for a while on her stories, that like this was artwork that was in the works. And I was just like, she hasn't officially previewed this one as part of this release, but I wonder. So that was a very happy surprise. And I did decide to put that one in my rainy day stash for now and not necessarily be a kit I work on immediately. But I don't know. We'll see. The colors and the artwork, that's always what is going to sort of decide, I feel like, how much I really enjoy a kit is the actual artwork and then the colors and stuff. But it's a big kit too, like 50 by 75 centimeters. So let's be ready. Ooh, is this gonna work okay, or am I gonna need to... I almost want to put the lid on to make sure I'm not gonna have any drills go flying. I don't often use creations, but oh, there, I see what it is. Okay. I don't use trays from this company all the time, very often, mostly because if it's just kind of my day-to-day, I'm gonna reach for a tray that's a little bit bigger. And I don't know if the shop, I haven't actually visited their storefront to see if that's something that they have expanded into at all. I'm not sure if they have or not, but just for my day-to-day, I'll tend to reach for a slightly bigger tray because I like to just dump a ton of drills in there and then multi-place, like just do tons of multi-placing. These are like a little bit bigger than the size of a deck of cards. Oh, that color is it's really similar. It's a little bit lighter, but like in person, it looks like a really close match. So what else? What was I just completely lost my train of thought. I was just talking about shops and videos and unboxings and stuff like that. Let me check. I see. I have to take notes because sometimes I completely lose my train of thought and my memory is really bad. So don't feel bad if you have a YouTube channel and you have to take notes. It doesn't mean that you're like a bad YouTuber or anything. A lot of the more production heavy channels that I watch that are not really in the diamond painting sphere, it's like, YouTube essay style channels or commentary channels, like they don't not only have whole scripts that they read from, but like they'll have script writers. Like it's intense level stuff. I just jot down notes where I'm like, what happened this week again? Lots of funny abbreviations too. It's like if anyone else tried to read it, they'd probably be like, what does this even mean? It's like, I'll know. As soon as I see it, I'll remember. It's in the moment. Sometimes I'll be very forgetful, which that's actually a funny segue into talking about my very first video here on YouTube. I'm just going to have a little bit of a nostalgia moment and reflect a bit. And also say I have so much secondhand embarrassment for past Katie and a little bit for present Katie too. Because when I went back to check and see like what was the upload date on my very first video on this channel, and I was like, okay, I went and looked, but in going to look and see what the upload date was, I also saw the number of views that are on that video. The video has 6,000 views on it. That video is terrible. I'm sorry. I cringe when I listen back to it because it's so funny. I listened to it and a lot of the things that I was doing in that video are actually things that I would have a hard time listening to as a viewer or listener. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's these awkward pauses. There are these weird inflection things going on. And frankly, for all I know, 5 years from now, I would go back and listen to this video and say the same thing about what I'm doing now. And, we grow, we change as people. It's fine. But it's just, I don't know. I go back and it's very tempting to just cringe at that video. And that is my knee-jerk reaction, is just to cringe. But then I can look back on it with a lot of fondness and, I don't know, see it through the lens of, it just feels very, I don't know. It was just a very specific stage that I was in my life. I never had a YouTube channel before. And I didn't even really watch much YouTube at all. It was something like YouTube was basically something I exclusively used when I needed to look up how to fix something. That basically was all I was using it for. I wasn't like regularly following any YouTube channels. I wasn't even really consuming content in the diamond painting YouTube space. I had started to, like a month or two prior, as I was getting more involved in the diamond painting community in general. Like I started on Instagram and sort of branched out a little bit over into YouTube and just kind of getting the lay of the land and seeing like what do people even do on YouTube, like especially if they're just sort of making regular content as opposed to like the once in a blue moon, like really lots of production how-to type videos. And it was, you know, Rachel Ray, Miss Coffee, and Tiny Worlds of Wonder, and you know, some others, trying to think like Stitcherista and, oh gosh, there's some I'm forgetting. But some of the YouTube channels in the diamond painting space that were really popular, and many of them still are absolutely very popular. And I still have lots of, you know, love and affection for them. But I just thought, okay, well, I wanted a medium to talk about kits and kind of review kits that let me do longer form than Instagram. And that was my main motivation. And I thought, well, let me start with this, like kind of get to know me. It's kind of what everyone else was doing. This was when I feel like it was going from, there were single digit number of YouTube channels dedicated to diamond painting to like a ton of people were starting channels all around that time. Like a ton of people were, like a ton of us started channels that summer or spring because we were all stuck at home and, you know, getting really into this craft and stuff. So I had pulled out one of these. They're these cute little wood charms that are made. Oh, I didn't fix the focus. You guys have been going in and out of focus this whole time. I'm so sorry. It was this really cute wood kind of charm style thing from the company Wizardy. I wonder if they're still around. I still have some of those cute wood charms. I had in my head when I went to go and do this video, I was like, I'm just going to introduce myself, talk about myself, and I'm going to finish this little charm all in this video. Hold on, my microphone's doing something weird, so I hope there's not like a crackle pop here. Okay, I think we're a little bit better here. So it's basically like, please, let this like go. Okay, I'm just gonna talk about myself. It'll be fine. I will introduce myself, and then, you know, I'll probably finish this little charm as I'm, you know, finishing talking about myself. I'll fill that time. It'll be fine. You guys, it took me so long to basically like kit up that charm and starting to work on it. And I was very slow and kind of awkward about it because trying to get into a rhythm of talking while you're also doing something with your hands, I found it hard. I found it tricky. I'd imagine I'm not the only one, but I ended up barely being like any way into that charm before I was like, I'm out of stuff to talk about. Uh-oh, I don't think I have anything else to talk about. And so I think I just awkwardly ended that video. I think it was like, I don't know, half an hour long. I should have looked while I was looking at the date. But I started with that video, did a couple of like one-off reviews here and there. It was like a couple of videos in the first month or two. It was very sparing. And at one point, I remember kind of looking at my numbers and Adam asking me like how I was liking YouTube, and me just being like, yeah, I don't know if it's really for me. It's not like I'm getting a ton of views anyway. And I don't know if it's for me. And then I was like, I kept kind of having ideas or things that I wanted to do. And so I'd like do a video, then do another video. How I have this thing I want to talk about. And then before I knew it, like it was growing, and I was settling into kind of a rhythm. I still remember when I used to have a no real rhyme or reason to when I would do a WIP and Chat, and kind of settling into that rhythm of like, oh, actually I like filming these on Sunday evenings and then putting them up on Monday mornings. And that's been my rhythm for a while. But I don't know. There's a lot of like mistakes and missteps I feel like I made along the way. And I attribute some of them to naivete. Just sort of not like trying to like dive right in and trying to make friends. I wanted to be friends with everybody and wanting to sort of do it right, as in like do YouTube right, be like, okay, this is how people are doing it, and I want to make sure that like I'm doing it, that I'm like following the rules or whatever. I don't know. And so I don't know. I just feel like I look back and I'm like, man, I like said and did some really dumb things. And there's things I would do different, I feel like, kind of looking back. And I'm sure there's still mistakes that I am making now, missteps I'm making now that I'm gonna look back and be like, I just wish I would have done that differently. I wish I would have done that differently. That was really dumb. And I don't know. I feel like I've learned a lot just about sort of how to approach things on like the social side of things, and learning just sort of, I don't know, how to find my own voice and like what I wanted my channel to be and what I wanted it to offer, and how it's like, how does this look different from what other people are doing? How's it similar to what other people are doing? And it's okay that it's similar, without like obviously not wanting to copy anyone else or carbon copy anyone else. But I don't know. I feel like I was kind of clumsy in how I went about that. One of like my biggest takeaways, honestly, is that and this I feel like I have gotten better about, is just the art of like not saying anything. And the idea of like, once you say something, like it's out there, it is out in the world, and like anyone could become aware of it. It could get really twisted really fast and spun a particular way and turned against you. Not everyone is out here then assuming the best of you or even like cheering for you. But most people are genuine. I like to believe still that most people are kind, most people are genuine, and are just here to find some connection, have some company while they craft, have helpful suggestions or tips and tricks. And so I tended to get a little too caught up in the noise. I think I could, I don't know, I have to watch myself to try not to fall into this again. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've just gotten better about just sort of, I'm just going to keep my head down. I'm just going to focus on like what I'm doing. I'm not going to get caught up in like lots of salacious things. And if someone tries to drag me into something, like I'm just not, you don't have to say anything. And I kind of feel like the vast majority of people that are watching YouTube or in the kind of even just the diamond painting world in general, I don't think you guys are really here for like that kind of messiness. And so I don't know, it's just, at least for me, that's something that I feel like has changed, and I wish that I would have done and handled things differently in those early years here on YouTube. And yeah, that's one thing. And being okay with like, and that's something I'm still learning, like being okay with some people just aren't going to click with you. Some people aren't going to like you, and not in a like, I get to say, forget everyone else's feelings and I don't have to have responsibility for myself, but just in a like, you just aren't going to necessarily click with everyone. That doesn't make them a bad person or you a bad person. And it's fine. People, like your people will find you, and just relax and let it happen. Let them come to you. So yeah, I think also focusing on things that I genuinely enjoy, which you guys know I've talked a lot about that here. It's been like a goal for this year to be focusing on kits and projects that I just love working on. I notice such a difference in how I'm enjoying the craft when I do that. And I don't know. I'm sure there's more. Like I said, this isn't something I spent a lot of time prepping to talk about. It was just one of those, like, I saw, oh, that was almost exactly 5 years ago. Like my 5-year anniversary on YouTube has passed, and let me just chat about it a little bit. What do I kind of see happening with the channel in the upcoming 5 years? Like, do I think in five years from now, am I still going to be on YouTube? I have absolutely no idea. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have expected that I'd still be on YouTube. You know, I certainly wouldn't have expected to have, I don't know, this wonderful community, you guys here. at the moment, my whip and chats are some of my most viewed videos. When I started out, that wasn't necessarily the case. It was like unboxings were the big thing. There have been times over the years where it's been all about like reviews and or maybe hauls. Like it kind of changes. Like that's the only constant is change. Excuse me. I just completely lost my train of thought because coughing apparently did that to me. Yeah, like whip and chats are currently my, tend to be, of the various videos that I put up, they tend to be the most watched videos. And I think it's just, I don't know, I like connecting with you guys. I like just chatting and having that. So I do have a playlist of the whip and chats that I have done over the years that you're welcome to go back and take a look. And also, I am extremely curious if you guys have gone back and watched that first one. I'm not saying that you should. Like, honestly, I wouldn't. Especially if you have, like, auditory sensitivities like I do. It was just very, like, I didn't have a microphone. No, I don't even think I had a clamp. I think I had a little, like, phone holder stand that I, like, tilted at an angle and I had something weighing it down so it wouldn't fall over. You guys, it was pretty, I don't know, stripped down, I guess, is probably the word for it. But it was very, that's where I was at in my life. I think I filmed that first whip and chat while Micah was taking a nap, because when I started my channel, Micah was like 1.5 years old. He was a baby, right? Because he's 7 now. Yeah, like he was 2. 2020. Yeah, he was 2. Pretty newly 2. And Connor was 5. Like, what? Like, just, like, pretty freshly turned 5. Absolute craziness. Like, Micah is a couple of years older now than Connor was when I started my YouTube channel. Like, you guys have seen me through, I don't know, that's like a big change in phase of life. I feel like going from, I consider myself at the time very much a mom of littles, like mom of babies, toddlers is how I felt at the time. Mom of preschooler, I guess. You know, and that's a different stage of life when I feel like I'm kind of shifting out of that into, I don't know what you call it, like elementary age kids. Both of my kids are in elementary school, but yeah, like it's been a lot of life that we've done together, and a lot, I don't know, just a lot that's changed in the diamond painting space and whatnot. And it's like a time capsule to go back and look at some of those older videos for me. I think I was talking about where I kind of see my channel going and stuff. I'll be interested to see just kind of over the coming weeks, months, years, how things shift, you know? It's like, will whip and chats suddenly not necessarily be as popular? Will it kind of go back to other particular kinds of videos being popular? Will diamond painting YouTube kind of go the way of the dinosaur overall? Like, is it going to keep growing? How's it going to change and shift? I feel like there are some little ways here and there that I see things changing a bit. You know, I know lots of people are kind of more on the TikTok side of things, and that style of content that's very short form is very snappy. It feels like that's kind of the future of things, but I just hope that, I don't know, I like the more relaxed, and I like the long form content style of YouTube, and I hope that it's around for a good while yet. So I don't have any, you know, huge plans for things to, you know, change on my YouTube channel or anything like that. But I don't know. I hope I'm still around and making videos 5 years from now, but we're gonna keep taking it one day at a time, 1 year at a time. Like I said, never would have imagined 5 years ago that I would be here doing what I am today. I went back when I was looking at my oldest video. It's like I have over 1,000 videos that have been uploaded to my channel over the past 5 years. That's crazy. That's just, I don't know. That's like a number I can't wrap my brain around. But yeah, anyway, that's my waxing nostalgic. We're halfway through the whip and chat. But 5 years feels like a big milestone. If I would have been thinking ahead, which I don't do, I procrastinate way too much. Maybe I would have tried to map out like a better way to commemorate it. I'll think on it. I'll let you guys know if I have another way to kind of celebrate or commemorate 5 years here on YouTube. But thank you for being here and just sort of, whether you've been around since the beginning or if you've more recently joined, I'm very glad you're here and you are a very, very valued part of my community and just this whole journey. So, okay, enough sappiness. But you know what? That was actually such a nice way for me to kind of turn around my day. Oh, I almost knocked that pen off the table. Whew. Yeah, that was a nice discovery, a nice way for me to feel like I kind of turned around my evening. I have been cranky. I'm not gonna hide it. I had a cranky evening. Lots of stress and anxiety just about various things. And so this was a nice way to kind of shake some of that off. I feel like it's hard. I talk about how I'm feeling, what I'm struggling with pretty openly with you guys, in large part because I have heard from some of you in the past about how it has helped you feel less alone. And frankly, you guys help me feel less alone even just by saying that and doing a small part for my part to just sort of help reduce the stigma around talking about mental health. At the same time, I think that this is something I feel like I'm still working on and learning. Oversharing and knowing where the line is, and also knowing that when I talk about stuff, especially when I'm not necessarily giving 1,000% of the details, I'm opening myself up for criticism, feedback, people that don't necessarily totally understand and are just kind of like, you just need to fix this. Like, what are you doing? Sometimes those people have a point, but also sometimes, like, when I'm having a tough time, I just see that as a, oh, I messed up again, oh, I wasn't good enough. Yes, like, my feelings of not being able to keep it all together were validated. That's a me problem, not a someone else problem, but it just makes me just sort of want to be aware of what I'm sharing and how I'm sharing it. And so I'm just feeling unsure, I suppose, about how to talk about things this week, just in light of said kind of feedback that I have gotten recently. So what I think I want to focus on instead is ways that I have found it helpful to try to deal with when I'm struggling, and maybe something you guys might feel helpful. And also know that it's okay if you don't find it helpful, or if you just are feeling like I'm not capable of doing that thing right now, because when you're struggling with something like anxiety or depression, you're fighting your own brain, which is often just so much harder than you would think. And so whatever you are doing, your best is good enough. It is okay. Like, things are hard, life is hard. Your best is okay. Please be kind to yourself. So here's what I've been kind of doing to try to channel my bad mood into something that is maybe a little bit more productive, or at least gives me a distraction. Tonight, I sat down before this WIP and Chat after I finished taking my notes, and it was just about time to get Connor ready for bed, and I had a little bit of time. And I started sitting down and mapping out just what are some of my stress points right now. When I think about what are the things that are causing me the most stress and anxiety, what are the things that I'm having a hard time sleeping because of? Let me write down what some of those things are, because then it's on paper, then it's out. And then I can look at some of these things. I know some of you are like, Katie, this would be a novel. This would be a whole list. I would fill a notebook. You do whatever you need to do. But it was like, I just jot down, some things, first things come to mind, and then go, okay, what of these can I actually do something about? And let me make a list of what I'm going to try to do this week. Like, what can I tackle? I can go to this place. Like, I can take care of this thing. I can make this phone call. There's something about sort of taking it out of my head and putting it on paper that makes it feel more manageable. Not always, but often. And it also lets me visualize it easier, like what I have to do, and then make a plan and go, here's how I'm going to now handle it. So it's like, okay, if the thing that's stressing me out is finances, what can I do about that? That's kind of that's not a very good example, because there's some things that are very much not in my control with that. But things like, there's things about, my backyard. There's this thing that's bothering me about this. Okay, so what can I do about it? Let me break it down. Let me rake this area, sweep this area, hose off this area. And I did that earlier today. And now I'm like, I just feel so much better because a thing got done. And also I have to walk through like our backyard to get to our garage like multiple times a day. We're out there a lot with the dog playing and stuff. And so I notice it, and it's like, okay, I channeled into something physically, and I have like this benefit of it. So that I found helpful sometimes. Sometimes I'm not in a place where I feel like I'm too physically exhausted, or it feels like it's too much to do. That's also valid. That's okay. I am a fan of the Finch app. I've been getting a ton of ads for Finch on my Instagram. I'm going to be like, you don't need to pay to serve this ad to me. Like, I already have this app. Like, it's fine. It's a free app. There is like a paid version where you get access to some extra mostly cosmetic things. But there's a free version, and it's basically like Tamagotchi meets self-care, and you can set various goals for yourself. And you guys, I have daily goals for things that I get to check off. Like, one of my goals is literally get out of bed. My last goal today is brush my teeth. But then I have things like things that, like, those are always going to happen for me. Those are always going to happen, but that means I know I get to check those off, and I get like stars that I get to use towards buying cute outfits for my little bird that is like the equivalent of Tamagotchi. But then I have things on there that I feel like are good for my mental health, like I have something that's like, say something kind to or about myself today. I don't always check off that box, but it's on there. And so when I open the app, I see it and I'm reminded of it. You can add or, change things. I don't know. You can make it what you want to. It's not like it's telling you these are what your goals should be. It's just like, you can make it whatever you want to. I don't know. It's cute too. You get like a cute bird. Your bird sometimes has pets. You get cute outfits. You travel to cute little places. It's very cutesy. I tried to have Adam take a look at it once. It didn't work for his brain, but it works for mine sometimes. So there's that. I also, this is like bothering my wrist. I need to take this off. Normally those don't bother my wrist. This is a Zox bracelet. I like these a lot, but every once in a while, just this wrist has been a little bit sensitive. Anyway, so just felt like I needed to grab and take that off. Something else that I'm a huge advocate for is if you have friends that are safe, and by safe I mean like it's okay to not be okay with those friends. I don't know, cling to those friendships. And it's really easy for me to isolate when I'm struggling and just be like, I gotta hunker down. I don't have any energy to give to connect with my friends right now, to send a text, to whatever, even though it seems like it shouldn't be a big deal. It is. And so whatever your struggle is when you're struggling, if you have friends or people that just, they get that and they accept you anyway. And as easy as it is to isolate, it's like, try not to. And just having people that are willing to listen, empathize, and yeah, that kind of thing I feel like is also helpful. That I know it's not something that everyone has, but if you have any kind of support system like that, then leaning into it when you're able to is helpful. But that's just, those are some things that I've found helpful recently, and hope that maybe you guys might find helpful too. But I hope that that's not something that you are currently struggling with at all. But that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. But I'm glad I sat down to chat with you guys today because it lets me like process some of it. And also just sort of that realizing that it's my YouTube anniversary, YouTube birthday. What do you guys think? Birthday or anniversary? That was a fun way to distract my brain too. So, okay, that's that. Just a little bit of honesty, hopefully some helpful thoughts to share. Fun things that are happening this week. So we still have a couple of weeks before the boys go back to school, and my mom is flying in tomorrow. My mom diamond paints. She has popped by the channel a few times when she's out to visit. I live in California. My parents live in Ohio. My brother and his wife live in Oregon. We are spread out. We're spread out. My mom comes out to visit here every few months, and we always have a wonderful time. My dad comes out with her usually, once or twice a year, but often it's just my mom that'll come out just for sake of practicality in large part. But my kids are very, very excited to see her. I am so excited to see her for so many reasons. We're going to diamond paint together. If you guys want to see her in next week's WIP and Chat, well, let me know. She'll probably be here. If you have any questions or anything you want to ask or anything you want us to chat about, let me know in the comments. And so she's going to be getting on a plane. Frankly, she's probably going to be getting up for her day of travel before I even go to bed tonight because I am a night owl. I'm working on it. That's something else. If you're struggling, make sure you're getting enough sleep. I feel like nothing affects your mental health as directly as sleep does. Nights are almost always the hardest for me. Like that's like trying to get to sleep or just sort of after the sun goes down. I don't know. There's something about it that that's when my anxiety is and depression are out of control. But anyway. So my mom is going to be out here. We're going to do some fun stuff with the kids. We're already planning to take them to the Irvine Park Railroad on Wednesday. My mom had gotten them shirts from the Irvine Park Railroad where I'm mentioning this because if any of you live locally enough and have small children who love trains like mine do, if you get one of the park's branded t-shirts, like from their merch, your kids, like whoever has these shirts, whoever's wearing them on Wednesdays, you can ride the train as many times as you want for free, as long as you're wearing the shirt. So we're going to take the kids, they have their shirts, and go there, I think, on Wednesday, and I'm sure we'll do lots of swimming. We're going to do some back to school shopping. I got to go grab the kids, school supply lists from the website. We're just going to have lots of good family time. It's, I think, going to be a really wonderful visit, and my mom and I will hopefully get some diamond painting time in. I always really look forward to her visits, and I feel like especially when I'm feeling a little bit more low or kind of like moody or whatever, it's like just having her here for another kind of support in person. I do not take it for granted one single bit. So I'm really, really thankful for the relationship that I do have with my family, with my parents, and excited for this visit. She's going to be out here for like a week and a half, and then she's heading back to Ohio. But yes, excited for her visit. See if we can get some house projects done too. But I'll tell you what, the big project that I want to tackle here at some point is the garage. But that's going to be like a multi-day project. That's going to be so much work. And peak summer, not the time that I want to be working in the garage. I gotta be honest. I just don't think that's going to be how that goes. But there's other stuff we can get done. There's other things I would like to try to little spring summer cleaning type things around the house that we'll knock out. I did have my first physical therapy appointment this past week, and speaking of my mom, she said something so funny the other day where and this is over in the Crafters Den Discord. I know I mention it like basically every WIP and Chat, and if you're not a Discord person, you're like, give it a rest. But no, anyone can come join if you want to give it a try. All I say is, if you join and you're like me and you weren't necessarily a Discord person, if you join a Discord server, first thing I do, immediately go over and turn off those server notifications. If you're in an active Discord server, it like defaults to sending you a notification on your phone every time someone sends a message in any part of the server. And in an active server like the Crafter's Den, your phone would be blowing up. And there's channels you're not interested in. Like I am not interested in the knitting channel, for example. Like, so I don't need to see notifications for that. So I just immediately, if I join a new Discord server, first thing I do is go find the settings, turn off those notifications, because I don't want my phone blowing up over that. Anyway, my mom said something funny in there where she's like, there's 3 people in your life that you cannot lie to. And I've never heard her say this before. This was so funny to me though. She goes, okay, number 1, your mom, because she's your mom. She knows everything. You can't hide anything from her. Okay. Number 2, your dentist, about whether or not you flossed. I was like, yep. And then she said 3, your physical therapist, about whether or not you did your exercises in between appointments. And so I just was laughing because I had made a joke about how I was like, I am going to get a good grade in physical therapy. I'm going to be a good patient. I'm going to do the exercises, like, because I've never done physical therapy before, but that's what I hear is like, you have to do the exercises in between your appointments and they can tell if you don't. And I was like, I want to get this healed up. I'm going to be such a good patient. And so that prompted my mom's comment and they gave me such a good laugh. I was like, that is so true. There's no hiding. If you go into your dentist office for that cleaning, they start flossing your teeth in there and your gums are like, you're like, ow, ow, ow. They're bleeding. It's a whole thing. Like who are you fooling? Trying to tell them like, no, I floss. Like, no, you don't even have to say it. They know. And then they scold you about it. You really should floss. I've been a little bit better about flossing. You know what? I have a goal on my FinChat, so it reminds me to floss. But yes. So anyway, my first appointment was like scheduled for an hour. We were done about 45 minutes in, and a physical therapist, super sweet, just did a bunch of different tests for like range of motion. She pulled out like a measuring thing at one point. And I was like, oh, this is like really official stuff. To like see, I guess, how much range of motion I had and things. She did various things to see like, okay, what hurts, what doesn't hurt. And yeah, she is saying she believes that it's a shoulder impingement. And interestingly, when we were kind of doing these exercises and going to like pinpoint things and different things, we realized that like a lot of my pain is actually going into my bicep. Like that's where some of my pain is not precisely in my shoulder, but actually in the muscles of my upper arm. So that was interesting. So she gave me a handful of exercises to do, and I have been trying to do them, though I was a couple of days in before I realized and reread the papers that it said twice a day. I'm sure she told me it said twice a day, but terrible memory. But at least I looked at the papers and realized I was like, oh, twice a day. Okay. So it's like a couple of different exercises that it's like, do these 10 times a day, or 10 times twice a day. And there was, I'm using rolled up towels for now because I don't want to spend money on it, but she had said that was fine. But there's like this thing where it's just, you just lay with a foam roller. You lay on your back and the foam roller is just kind of going down your spine and just like letting the muscles really stretch out in your shoulders. Because if you look at your arms out to your side. And I feel like the towels aren't working as well as the foam roller did in her office. So I don't know. The foam rollers are like $30 or something ridiculous for the one that she like showed me the Amazon link to. I was like, I don't know. I'm going to try the towels, but I don't know that I'm necessarily noticing a difference just yet, but I assume it's going to take a bit. So I have physical therapy appointments on the calendar kind of once a week. We went ahead and scheduled into September, but insurance is still kind of a question mark right now. So we'll see, but at least I'll have, I think, 4 appointments in before, if we do get cut off before, get new insurance and get that, and probably have to do a new referral and stuff. So we'll see, but hopefully I will start to see some improvements with these exercises. Okay, that's really pretty. Like dusty rose color on that dark blue. Okay, that color palette is it's a dream, an absolute dream. So yeah, that's the update on physical therapy and what kind of the diagnosis she gave was. When I Googled it, impingement seemed to kind of be more of like a bucket term for a couple of different possible things. And so like my primary doctor had said, she thought it might be shoulder bursitis, which according to Dr. Google, that falls under the umbrella of an impingement. So it seems like at the very least, like whatever it's called, doesn't truly matter as long as we're targeting the issue. So anyway, really, really, really glad to be taking some steps towards getting my shoulder healed up. I'm continuing to take it easy as far as diamond painting goes. And I don't seem to be noticing any additional pain or discomfort when I play video games. I play I'm like a console gamer. Like I play on Xbox 360. So I feel like it's different. Like if I were on like desktop, like PC or whatever, I feel like there's more movement involved, like in a very different way that I feel like would probably irritate and strain my shoulder even more. It's like a different muscle group. But yeah, I am almost to the end. Like I'm probably, when I finish filming this, I'm going to go ahead and diamond painting for an hour. I'm going to take a break, go put some ice on just to be safe. And then I'm on like I think I'm on the very last mission of Mass Effect 2. This is this video game series that I just love and adore it so very much. It's been so enjoyable to replay it for the first time in probably 10 years. It's every bit as good as I remember. The Mass Effect 2 of the trilogy, this is my absolute favorite, and I've been taking my time with it, where the first game I finished in less than a week. This one I've been on for at least a couple of weeks, and I'm just soaking it in. It's just so enjoyable. I really am. I'm so happy to be playing it a lot. And I probably will go ahead and start right into the third game after, which I do really like the third game a lot. Like it probably goes, the second game is my favorite, third game is my second, first game is my third, and then we don't talk about Andromeda. I joke. It's like in the series, but different, like separate. And I don't know that it deserves all of the flack and the hate that it got at the time, but I still think that it's the weakest of the 4 games in the series. They are apparently working on another game in the Mass Effect universe, but I bet it's going to be at least a few more years before we see it, because they take a long time to develop games now. But I'll be happy if we ever get it. But the fact that Andromeda did so badly and was so poorly received is why they it's like a whole offices and branches of BioWare shut down. They immediately trashed any plans for all the DLC and stuff that they had planned. They, had no plans to make another Mass Effect game anytime soon. So I'm a little salty about how vocal people were about how much they hated it. 'Cause I'm like, they could have fixed it. They give them another chance. But anyway, quick updates, because I chatted so long about 5-year anniversary type stuff. Updates on the pup and the kids. So Scout is doing well. We are still working on the digging. Digging is still a thing. And he is so clingy with Adam right now. Adam is his person. He's 6 months old, a bit over 6 months old. So I'm curious to see how much of this is puppy things, and I'm hoping that we can make sure we're teaching him good habits and stuff. We've taken him to the dog park a couple of times this week. It was his first time he was at the dog park, I think around a week ago, and then Adam and Connor took him again today, and there were actually some other dogs there, because the first time I went, there weren't any dogs. And I'm hoping this is going to be some really good socialization for him. We want him to develop some good social skills, some good manners with other dogs and stuff. So I'm going to try to get him to the dog park relatively often, or playing, with friends' dogs and stuff, and hopefully that'll be good for him. I know that dog parks can be kind of a contentious subject. Some people feel like it's a really bad place for dogs to, socialize and interact with other dogs. But the one that I think they went to, it's not super high key or anything like that. And, I think if anything were to go sideways, we just wouldn't go back. But, yeah, so Scout's doing well. I'm excited to see if he remembers my mom. My mom was last here at the very end of May, and I just don't know how well he'll remember her, or if he will. That'll be really fun to see, though. I bet he'll be really excited to see her and have another pair of hands to pet him and play with him. The kids, I have a funny Connor story. I might go past the hour mark, but this is a funny story that just really cracked me up a lot. So I was in the car with Connor the other day, and I was trying to pick out some music to get us started. And so I know Dad likes to listen to, some more like classic rock and stuff in his car. And Dad has music that you like too. Yeah, Dad likes to listen to music in the car. And then Connor goes, yeah. And Dad likes to drink and drive sometimes too. And I was like, I know for a fact that he has no idea what that sounds like he's saying. But I had to do like a double take just because of how he phrased it. I was just like, and I paused. I said, buddy, what do you think it means when you say that what do you mean when you say Dad is drinking and driving? And he said, oh, like if we go to Taco Bell or something and Dad has a drink, or if he brings like a can of pop in the car, like he drinks it while he's driving. I was like, okay, that's what I thought. But then I was like, so he's this age where this is happening a lot with different things. And I love how his brain works. And I love just getting to like have these like conversations with him. He's so smart. And, I don't know, I'm having a lot of fun with my kids at the ages there are. So he's 10, by the way. And so I was like, so he also didn't know what alcohol was. So I'm having to explain like these different things to him and trying not to overwhelm him. But explain, like, so when you say that someone is drinking and driving, this is actually what people are going to think you mean. This is what these words tend to mean. And here's what alcohol is. Here's why it's a problem. And very like, I feel like age appropriate terms. But then at the end, I was like, does that, kind of make sense, buddy? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, so Dad wasn't actually drinking and driving. And Connor's like, no, he was drinking some soda while he drove. It's like, yeah, you can clarify. So that was it was really funny. Just that like, apropos of nothing. Yeah, Dad likes to drink and drive sometimes too. It's like, what? I know that he doesn't, but I'll explain. So funny moments and comments with Connor. It's either the sass or it's the like saying something to be like, no. We don't. If you say that, people are going to think you mean this. Oh, I don't remember what the other thing was he said a few weeks back that was really similar. Yeah, no, he's so much fun right now. I love it. I absolutely love it. Micah, I feel like Micah's speech, I feel like he's going through a big like leap in terms of his speech lately. Micah's been speech delayed, since he was a baby, but he is just he'll say things a lot that surprise me, that make me go, oh, he's picking up on other ways to say things. And I don't know if when I talk about it, if it makes sense. I don't know if it's really possible for me to communicate kind of the impact or like why it's exciting or like new to me, but it's just because so much of this is, because he's so speech delayed. It's like we haven't heard him say things this way before. But just like, for example, he's using the word sure sometimes instead of just saying yes anytime, he's responding in the affirmative to something. And sometimes he'll say things that just really make me laugh. I'll ask like, oh, do you want to go do this thing? And instead of saying just like, no, or I don't want that, he went, I don't think so. And there's just something about how he says these things sometimes that they just make me smile. And I just love sort of seeing and experiencing so tangibly like how he's growing. And I just attribute so much of it to the not misadventure school. And I'm so relieved that we get to go back to like our home school that is such a good fit for him. And I'm excited, when he goes back in a couple weeks to just sort of see how he grows and thrives this year in 2nd grade. My goodness. So there's just some kid and pup dates. Adam and I are doing fine. Just trying to tackle stuff and take stuff one thing at a time, one day at a time. Yeah, we might try to just sneak away. Maybe we'll go for like a walk in the park or something, just the two of us while my mom is here. Just do a little getaway, a little no-cost date, no frills, but still meaningful because it's just time spent together. As far as what I've been reading and watching and listening to, reading-wise, I feel, I don't want to call it a slump yet. I keep getting sidetracked by some other things, but I haven't started the next Mistborn book yet. I need to. I really, really need to, because I want to. I want to find out what happens, because it's the third in the trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. And I'm excited for it, but I just keep getting sidetracked, whether it's by because I think part of it is because I'm just not diamond painting as much. And that's when I listen to audiobooks, is when I'm diamond painting almost exclusively. And so, you know what? I need to cut myself some grace, or some slack, give myself grace, cut slack. Let me just combine these phrases. I haven't been diamond painting as much, and that's why I haven't started it. And that's okay. It'll be there. I can, when I get back to diamond painting a little bit more, when I'm ready, I will get to that audiobook and it'll be fine. I don't really listen when I'm driving. It's not quite the same. I can't focus in the same way. Like, driving is a little bit too involved. I can't focus on the audiobook in the same way as I can when I'm diamond painting, which is very mindless. So, yes, watching. I don't have anything fun to report. I didn't get to go see Fantastic Four this past week. We had a lot in the way of stuff I'm not going to get into come up with, like family and other things. And so I didn't get to go to this, which is completely fine. It's there were only a couple of days that would have worked for like the half price anyway. So it's not a big deal. But I've continued to watch this gaming streamer that some friends and I now, it's like we just have way too much fun watching. It's Hydra Sung's stream. It's this ghost hunting game that I don't think I could ever play, because I think I would be too scared. But I feel like by the same way you guys come into WIP and Chats and don't necessarily like come to watch me diamond paint, but I think some of you are here just because you're like, oh, I just like hanging out with this person. This is what I do with WIP and Chats too, is I'll just listen because I like this person's energy, their vibe. I just like hearing about what's going on with them. That's kind of what it is it's just like, it's functioning like a WIP and Chat for me. Only his WIP is a ghost hunting video game. Very, very relaxed and chill. Very soothing background noise. While I'm gaming, sometimes I'll have it on in the background. So like playing Mass Effect or something. That's been my quote watching, I suppose. And then listening to, I kind of continued to explore some like new to me artists on Spotify. Like, I'm so late to the Spotify game. I just always tend to listen to music that I own. And I'm just using the free version, and so it's just ads galore. But I've been listening to just like the pop radio mix. And so it regularly, every time I open it, it's like there's different artists in there, which is kind of fun, because it's like, oh, I get to maybe discover some new people. And the one that keeps sticking out to me recently, and I feel like this is it's like a really natural kind of offshoot from K-pop Demon Hunters in a way. I feel like it's because my understanding is that this is a solo artist that is also in like a bigger K-pop group. And K-pop fans, I'm so sorry. Look, this is like new, like the past couple of days I'm realizing that I like this artist's music, and so I haven't done the whole lore deep dive thing. But Rosé, I believe she's from Blackpink, or in Blackpink, and just like her solo album, which is just called Rosie, she's the one that does the Apata song, the one that gets really stuck in your head and you're like, wait, that's a word. Some of her other music, when it comes through on like the Spotify playlist, I'm like, oh, I like this. Okay, I like this. So maybe this is just another gateway into more K-pop music for me. I don't know, but that's the one. K-pop fans, you can feel free. Go ahead, let me have it in the comments. But I haven't listened to her whole album yet, but just the ones that have popped up. I'm like, oh, I like this. So anyway, as far as what I have coming out this week on YouTube, I actually have my Diamond Art Clip sneak peek for this week in hand. It shipped with last week's. Man, that cluster of a sneak peek video. Oh, that was such a mess. The one that actually went up on Friday that I was trying to film with like pets and kids like in the background. There's a whole reason why Adam couldn't get them out of the house. Like it just was what it was. But that video, I just was like, this is so terrible. It's fine. But I have my sneak peek in hand and should be able to film under much better circumstances for this week. I have so many kits that I would like to do dedicated post reviews on. And so maybe get one or two, maybe one of those in this week, and some other kits to potentially unbox. And I hear you, all the feedback on, yes, please do a Drills and Chills stash video. I think I'm going to do that, but I think I might wait and have that be like my first event video for Drills and Chills. It's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now. So it'd be fun to kind of do that. I think people would enjoy that as part of like the event. So you might have to wait, but it'll be here. It'll be here just a little bit later. That's my current thought anyway. Disclaimer, it may change. But yeah, that's what I've kind of got in mind here. So we got almost all the way through this section. I'm telling you what, Diamond Art Club round drills and like the multi-placing in this artwork, a dream. Chef's kiss, 10 out of 10. You've made it all the way to the end of this video. How about a star emoji or something with the night sky in honor of all the fun star memorabilia I had for you guys with my accessories today? Thoughts on these accessories? Yeah, I feel like the easier way to go for this would be for the tray is just put the lid on here, and then I could shake this a lot more freely in there. I should have done that. I just didn't. I only dropped a couple. Not a big deal. Love the pen. Pretty comfortable. No issues with the putty or the wax. All good things. And the kit's awesome. we made it almost all the way to the end of this section. I'm not going to keep you any longer though, because we are well past the hour mark. I hope that's okay. But thank you for spending some time with me today. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. Let me know if there's anything you want to hear from my mom and have us talk about in my WIP and Chat next week. She'll be here, I think is the plan, if she's up for it. And yeah, just let me know how you're doing. But either way, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more diamond painting videos from me. Like I said, I'll have the WIP and Chat playlist linked below in the description box if you want to go watch past week's WIP and Chats. Sometimes I'll just put on a WIP and Chat playlist and let it roll, because then I can just I don't have to even think about it. I just put it on, it just goes, and I just diamond paint. At least that's how I used to do it before I cut back on my diamond painting a lot. But anyway, got like a Midwest goodbye going on where I fake you out a million times, or it's like Return of the King. There's like 7 endings to that movie. Anyway, you guys have a great week. I hope you're doing very, very well, and that you have a day and a week that's as wonderful as you are. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.